Baby's just a little bit tired of the city.
That's the one that Keith plays all the time.
It is a Carry On. It is Carry On. Yeah, he used to play a different one before every show. He used to play 3 days, which is an awesome one too. We're trying to get him to play Friday to open. Nice. I like that. We drinking tequila and soda?
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be good. I would have a beer right now, except it's 6:45 a.m.
I mean, look at how prepped I am. I even have my second ready to go.
Nice.
Third, actually. Welcome to Fairway to Heaven, a LIV Golf podcast. It's me, Sue and Heng, and Jerry Foltz, your host for this favorite podcast of yours that you seem to be choosing every single week, and I have no idea why.
No, it's easy. It's easy why. It's easy why, because everybody loves Sue and Heng.
And not true.
Everybody loves Sue. Oh my God, it's
By
true.
the
It's
Twitter,
true.
no, because according to Twitter, everyone loves you. Not me, you. Jerry's the coolest. Jerry's the funniest. Jerry, you're the man.
No. Those are paid accounts for my friends.
What's been happening? First of all, I wanted to wish all the moms a happy Mother's Day. Obviously that was this past weekend, but we didn't have the opportunity to wish everyone. So happy Mother's Day to all you amazing super moms, whether you're a role model, whether you're a godmother, whether you're a grandmother, whether you're a mother to pets, whatever you are, this world appreciates you, and thanks for all you do.
Yes, and all the moms who are the breadwinner and the glass ceiling breakers as well, and we have quite a few of those within our organization, which is awesome.
That's right. That's right. Well, next up, we do have obviously the PGA Championship this week. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're on to our second major already this year. I mean, holy shit! This is we're in May. This is May. Where did this year go? Honestly,
halfway through. We're halfway through May already.
We're halfway through May. We're halfway through our LIV Golf League season. Second major championship. So much to talk about because obviously Rory won last week. Back-to-back wins for Rory. It's always interesting when he gets in form going into a major championship. Obviously, Brooks is in good form as well. Scotty Scheffler just had a baby. Congratulations to the Schefflers. Baby boy, I believe, right?
I didn't see the release. I heard that he'll be at the PGA.
Yeah. He's already there. He's practicing in shorts, in fact. But yes, so, you know, a lot of good players in good form. Obviously, we can't count out Joaquin. I read something today. So his form over the last 6 months, he's got 11 events, right? He's won 3 of those, 9 top 10 finishes, and a top 25 at the Masters.
That is 11 events.
Yeah. That is some good shit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good shit.
That's some good shit.
Some good shit.
He's got his whole team there this week. He's got his putting coach Eric. He's got his swing coach Edo. He's got his short game coach there as well. Why am I blanking? I'm blanking.
It's a lot of coaches.
I'm blanking.
That's a lot of coaches.
It's a lot of coaches. But anyways, his whole team's there. His trainers there as well. Andrew. So yes. So speaking of the PGA Championship, who is your pick? It's
a tough call. I would have put Koepka and Scheffler as the top 2 picks until last week, and the way Rory played at Quail Hollow, which was absolutely astonishing, especially on Sunday. The scores he shot coming in on a course that only four guys broke par on Sunday I've long believed, a lot of people within golf have believed, that when Rory plays his best, there's nobody better. And last week we saw him play his best. Don't tell Brooks that. Brooks thinks he can beat anybody in the big moment. And like he said, he's able to get himself someplace mentally other guys just can't get to. So he's a big game hunter. I like Brooks's chances. If Rory continues to play the way he played at Quail Hollow, it's going to be really interesting. And then the name we're not even mentioning yet, you mentioned that his wife had the baby, is Scotty Scheffler, who's been truly unbeatable on the PGA Tour against their field. So Waco has something to prove. We have a lot of guys who are coming into form, Gooch being one of them. Cam, if he just hits the driver a little straighter, he's going to be a factor to deal with, and he likes the big game. And then you get the guys who got the invitations, including Gooch, but Dean Burmester, who's playing great golf, the greatest of his life right now. And I don't think he's afraid of the moment either. I mean, he'll get a little nervous, but I don't think he's afraid of the moment. So when you look at it from all sides, I like Koepka, Scheffler, and of course McIlroy. What about you?
Ooh, I mean, you like named all three guys.
Yeah. Well, you like Waco.
I do. You know what?
You like Waco's chances.
I'm gonna go with Waco only because I feel like you said, I think he's got something to prove. I think he's, we can tell from the emotion that he showed when he was speaking with Dom in Mexico when he won that playoff. You can tell how much being in majors meant to him, and how much he felt like he deserves to be at the major championships. And so just judging by the way he's been playing and judging by the way his mentality has been in the last 6 months, I think he's ready to win one. And this is a good golf course for him. It's long, a lot of long par threes, a lot of iron shots between 180 to 225. And he's certainly one of the most creative players out there. I think this is an aspect of his game that a lot of people don't talk about enough. There's not that many players like him now where he can literally move the ball any way he wants it, any ball flight, and he is so creative and he sees the golf course in such a different light, different perspective, and the way he hits shots and delivers shots and the way he's actually driving the golf ball now. I like his chances. I do. I think, there's so many guys playing great. Like you said, Scotty's playing really well. I love what Rory said. He's got some confidence from New Orleans winning with Shane, and then to this week at a golf course that I'm very comfortable at. My golf swing feels a lot more comfortable than it has done. Going to a venue next week where I've won, it feels like the stars are aligning a little bit. I'm going to the next major of the year, feeling really good about myself. Anytime you give Rory a little confidence, he's dangerous, right? He's dangerous. He's very dangerous. So but I'm gonna go with Joaquin only because I do want to see the guy win a major championship.
Yeah, the thing that Rory's got to be careful of is kind of the same thing Jack Nicklaus used to say when he would warm up for a round of any tournament. He said if he hit it really good on the range, he would get nervous. He would get really nervous because it was never going to be that easy on the course. Right now, the game feels very easy to Rory. It certainly did last week. It did on Sunday. You get a couple of bad breaks, those doubts creep in. You got to prepare yourself for that. He's been around for a long time, but he's also trying to break a 10-year majorless drought. So there's, you can come in confident, but you come in overconfident in golf and you are toast instantly. I mean, it just bites you back so quickly. But I could not possibly bet against Rory if I were putting my own money down on it, which we're not legally allowed to do anyway. But I couldn't bet against Koepka. I could never bet against Koepka. So it's, those are the two guys. We haven't even mentioned the guy who plays every single week. Rahm, exactly, every single week. And one of his teammates, Terrell Hatton.
Yeah.
He's never mentioned in these conversations. The guy is just solid tee to green week in and week out and a blast to watch. Bryson.
DJ?
We're not mentioning Bryson, who can tear apart the golf course. DJ. These are stars. These are stars of the game. All major champions. Yes, P. Reed. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know. We're spoiled for choices.
And then the 53-year-old who won this thing 2 years ago. Phil
Mickelson. I know.
Yeah.
It's insane. It is insane what he did a couple of years ago. Who did he
3 years ago, yeah.
Who did he rob the championship from?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
3 years ago.
Was it Brooks? No, it wasn't Brooks, was it?
It'll all come back.
It was Brooks. Okay, it was Brooks.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
And how about Tiger? I mean, look, Tiger was there early this week. Watched him hit golf balls. Got to talk about it. It looks pretty decent. Now, it's tough because he hasn't played that much golf. And it's been difficult for him health-wise. But still got to talk about Tiger. Shit, we're at a major championship.
He's Tiger Woods.
It's Tiger Woods. Yeah.
Underestimating Tiger is always a mistake, but I don't know anybody who's giving him a legitimate chance to win this week, other than himself.
Yeah, well, that's all it takes, isn't it? It's self-belief. Also, congratulations to Rose Zhang. She birdied 4 of her last 5 holes to close out 66 and win her second LPGA win, right? And your girlfriend / wife, Karen Stupples, got to interview her at the end, and that was a fantastic interview, actually.
Karen's I'm proud of her progress, of the talent she has in calling golf, and something she just has a knack for. But Rose Zhang was 1 year from her first win. Her first win was her first tournament as a pro. Her first win was basically in the same town. They were at Upper Montclair for this, and her first win was in Jersey City at one of my favorite courses in the world. I'm drawing a blank on Liberty National. Yeah. It was awesome. I love that place. So yeah, she should just buy a house in New Jersey. The Californian should be a, what are you if you're from New Jersey? A New Jerseyan?
Joyzy.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Joyzian.
Yeah. I'm super excited for our next guest. He ages like fine wine. He gets better as he gets older. Yes, we're talking about member of Cleeks GC, Dickie B, Blandemonium. Let him in, baby. Where's Blandy?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, I hear the English accent, so he's in the room. There he is.
There he is.
What's up, Blandy?
I got a present for you in Houston, Jerry. I think you're going to like it.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
For you. The present?
What? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you don't wear any cleats gear, so.
Excuse me. Of all of the announcers, wear Cleeks gear. Well, I wore the Cleeks hat.
This was after he ruined my week in Adelaide for picking me as going to be the winner. So, the only stipulation, he's got to wear it at a live event. That's the only thing.
Hell yes.
I hope it's a budgie smuggler or something.
No,
that's not going to happen.
It's not going to embarrass him too much, but
come on, Blandy.
A friend of mine had some hats made up, so.
I am the band leader. I am the Blandemonium band leader, by the way. So everybody else jumping on board. Yes. Huh?
What was your line on our coverage about the Blandemic?
The Blandemic was sweeping the southern hemisphere.
Probably more lives would be lost, I would imagine.
Oh my gosh.
That was great. And you know it was my most popular of the social media gang out there. My most popular so-called expert pick of all time was when I picked you, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Some made fun. The no laying up guys have a little fun with it, but that's okay. That's their thing. But most are like, you have a lot of fans out there. You're kind of like this growing folk hero in the game because of what you've done at this stage in your career. You can't manufacture that. You can't write this script.
No, it's been a bit crazy, really. Right after the British Masters, I had so many messages that came up on social media, kind of, people, and it was really quite overwhelming in some respects that, people of similar age to me, that whatever struggles in their life they were going through, said, look, I'm going to keep going. You've given me the inspiration to never give up and keep going. And it was, like you say, I wasn't expecting any of that. Yeah, that was really, I read every single message. I still have every single message on my phone. That was something I wasn't really ready for after the British Masters. And, I replied to some of the messages I couldn't reply to. I'd still be replying now, I think, if I was going to reply to every single one. But that was something I wasn't really ready for. With that, the people really, how it affected them and how it inspired them. It's not when you're just out there playing and focused on what you're doing. You don't think of all that's going on. Maybe that's affecting other people. And it was nice to hear those stories, and it was quite overwhelming.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of inspiration, let's talk about the British Masters, because it was your 478th start on the European Tour, now known as the DP World Tour. I mean, I was just reading kind of your biography and what you've been through. You've been through a lot, right? Leading up to that win. And you talk about inspiration. What inspires you to keep going? What inspires you to keep just grinding away and what motivates you, Blandy?
You know, it's always been, you know, I've always felt I was good enough. You know, I guess if you read all my school reports, I was a pretty slow learner. So that's happened in golf. You know, it took me 478 goes until I learned how to do it. But I just think, you know, as my career went on, of course you're always looking for, you know, to win tournaments. Of course you are, but there's also that you want to be able to support your family, give yourself that financial stability for whenever you decide to stop playing. I don't know anything else. It's not like I can walk into some office and get a job once I finish playing. So once my golfing career is finished as regards at the highest level, you know, my income is going to be, you know, certainly from golf, it's going to be nothing. So I've got to be able to support that. And that's kind of like my driving factor right now. I want to be able to give the best life to myself, my wife, you know, to right now look after my brother, which I'm fortunate enough I can do. You know, I've helped my nieces get on the property ladder as well, with going into flat shares with them. So, you know, it's you know, it's about family for me, and that's what's kind of, like I say, keeping me going. You know, how long have I got left? I don't know. You know, while I'm doing it, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving LIV. It's the best decision I ever made. And yeah, I'm just going to ride it for as long as LIV will have me.
Blandemonium just started. You can't go anywhere, Blandy.
No, he's not going anywhere. And I know you feel like you absolutely feel like you have to finish in the top 24. I think there'd be a lot of interest in you if you weren't in the guaranteed zone, if you finished in the free agent zone between 24 and 48. But that's another, let's not even approach that bridge until you have to, because I know that Cleeks have put in to re-sign me in this transfer window. So, you know, I'm hoping that LIV see that, you know, I still, at 51 years old, I still have a lot to offer for LIV Golf and for golf in general. So, but yeah, you know, if I can, you know, I hope to get that confirmation before I think it closes in Houston. Is that correct? Yeah, Sunday night.
Hopefully that will be, you know, the sort of the I's will be dotted and the T's will be crossed on that. But if not, then obviously there still is the you know, the top 24, which I'm hoping to do. I think I'm kind of
25.
Am I 25? I've dropped out.
Yeah. I picked you.
So yeah, there's also that route, which, yeah, if I keep playing well, then I've got every opportunity. But I also know that's not going to be a given. There's a lot of world-class players playing on LIV, and yeah, it's tough to compete. So you have to bring your game. So fortunately, I've been doing that for most of the season. So hopefully that can continue.
Well, speaking of LIV, you know, when in 2021, you were playing some great golf. You got all the way up to 48, I believe, in the world rankings, right?
47, but who's counting?
47. 47, sorry.
47 at 48 years old.
At 48 years old. Now, you then had at the time, a pretty difficult decision, I think, to come over to LIV. What was your motivating factor? It was not a difficult decision, was it?
Hell no.
It was quite interesting, actually. I was playing. I had, obviously, of course, we'd heard of rumblings of going on, and that obviously Saudi Arabia and PIF were interested in golf and coming into golf. And I was playing my last round robin match at the WGC match play against Lee Westwood. So a couple of old geriatrics going down the second. And I've known Lee for, we grew up together. We played for England youth together, played for England together. And so we had a great game and talking a lot. And we're going down, I think it's the second or the third. He said, "Have you had an approach from LIV yet?" And I was like, "No, why would they want to talk to me?" And he said, "Blandy," he says, you're top 50 or 55 in the world, I think, at the time. He said, "Trust me, they're going to talk to you." And I went, "Like, really?" He said, "They're going to talk to you." And I thought, right, okay. And I kind of didn't really give it too much. I was concentrating on trying to get through the group. And it was after that we kind of made an initial inquiry to LIV, and I guess the rest is history. But yeah, when they were interested, it was for me at my stage of my career, it was an absolute no-brainer. Obviously I talked to my wife about it quite a bit. I talked to my family, and they were 100% behind me, as they've always been. It was the easiest decision I had to make. Of course, I've loved DP World European Tour. I love the 21, 22 years that I played there. And I'll be forever grateful, and I'll always be a fan of that tour. Of course I will. I've still got many good friends that play there, and I'm always looking out for them. I'm actually going to go to the PGA this year, the BMW, with a couple of friends at the Wisley, my home club. They always go on a Thursday and Friday, so I'm actually going to go as a spectator.
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
So,
Cleeks gear? You're going to be wearing the Cleeks gear?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be fully clicked up.
That's what I'm talking about.
I might even carry my bag around just for. But so
anyone's seen a Titleist 4?
Even though it was an easy decision for me, like you say, I'll always be forever grateful for for the European Tour. For obviously, of course, you have to earn your place there, of course. So but obviously they do a wonderful job with what they do, and it was a great 20 years of playing out there. I've said many times, even though it took me a while to get my first win, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it exactly the same. I wouldn't change a thing.
You were shaking your head about how easy a decision it was. I got some numbers for you. I like numbers. 511 starts on the European Tour, DP World Tour, 8,621,000 plus change, the US dollar equivalent of what you earned. 29 starts in LIV Golf, 9.848 million. You cross 10 million when you get your check from Houston next week, when we get there. $10 million in, by the way, the league turns 2 years old the day after Houston. The day after Houston, we were officially 2 years old. 10 million.
Yeah, that's
mind-boggling.
So I think my decision is justified, but look at it. I guess you could look at it that Watkins won about $1 million more than me in about 6 starts this year. So, no, like you say, it's given me now, to be able to do what I want to do, for the rest of my life and not really have to worry too much about it.
It's a safety net. I call it a safety net.
It is, yeah, it is.
You have a safety net.
As much as, like I said, as much as I've loved playing DP World and European Tour, okay, I could have played better and won more money. Of course I could, but that wasn't the case. So at 49 years old, the opportunity came along, and like I said, I don't think there's anybody that would have turned that down at my age. That opportunity.
Well, and nobody could get that deal now. There's not a 48, 49-year-old with one win who could get that deal.
Like you said, I still look at it today. I go, how many 50-year-olds are actually playing at the highest level? There's not many.
Yeah.
There's not many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, we talk so much about the money and talk so much about how you make, but like all of it is deserved. Like it is so difficult to do what you did, which was to earn your way into the season being top 24 last season. It's not just like it's not a joke that you're winning $9 million. You know what I mean? Like you earned every dime and every dollar that you made. I want to ask you this question though. Do you feel like you're playing your best golf now
Great question.
in the recent year?
Am I playing my best golf right now? Probably not. Am I a better player than I ever was? Yes. And I have to thank, I don't want to kind of sound this is, we're thanking LIV for everything, but I have to thank LIV for that. Because, and I've said this on record many times, that go back 5 years ago, I would play against DJ, Brooks, Bryson, Cam Smith, maybe once, maybe twice a year if I made it into an Open or if I qualified for a US Open or the US PGA. Now I get to play against them 14 times a year. So, I'm a pretty realistic guy. I know they're better players than me, and I'm fine with that. They have, Brooks is probably one of the best of our generation right now with 5 majors. So if I'm going to compete against this guy and DJ and those guys, John Rahm, I got to bring it. I got to bring the best that I have. If I don't, I'm not going to be anywhere. So that just, for me, I think it's just a psychological thing. I have to play. I have to play. I can't compete against those guys off the tee. I know that, and that's fine. But I can be better than them from 150 yards in. And that's where, I've tried to be better. But I am just am I playing my best golf right now? Probably not. I'm playing pretty good. Of course, you can always play better, but I'm the best player that I've ever been.
I love that. But
and I think that's just I think that's just playing against the caliber of players you're playing against week in, week out.
By the way, funny you say what you just said, because statistically on our league, you beat 50 players in terms of greens and regulation. You're 4th in greens and regulation, hit 47.87% of greens. Only Paul Casey, Joaquin, and Brendan Grace are above you at the moment. So you're obviously doing something right. You are 46th in driving distance, which you've just alluded to, but you hit the most greens. You hit certainly top 5 of the most greens.
Yeah, the for me is I'm working with the same coach, Tim Barter, for the last 23 years. I know if my swing's not feeling that great, my miss is not that bad. My miss is, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot here. I can't remember the last time I hit a provisional ball off a tee.
Touch it.
Yeah.
Touch
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's good.
That's huge. That is huge.
So
that's Mo Norman shit right there.
I know that my miss is never going to be, missing fairways by 20 yards or anything like that. If I miss a fairway, it's probably by 3-4, that kind of thing. So I'm always in play. I'm always in play. So, and that, and I've got to give credit to Tim for that. The golf swing that we've built over the last however many years is that it's very low maintenance. I've seen Tim twice this year. I spent 4 or 5 days with him in January at the Floridian down in Jupiter, and I've seen him once at the Wisley since then, and I'm seeing him on Thursday. And I know that we probably won't work on anything. We'll just make sure that everything's where we need it to be, and that's fine. We haven't worked on anything for 15 years. We haven't. It's just making sure that this is what we want to see. These are the things we want to see. I don't know. I've just had this kind of probably one of my best strokes of golf is, once I have a good feel for something, I can just repeat it. And fortunately, I've had that for the last, 4 or 5 years, and it's paying off.
Yeah, what a perfect student you must be for Tim. I didn't know Tim was an instructor actually till I heard he worked with you, and I just heard that a few weeks ago. The American audience probably doesn't know the name Tim Barter, but you will have seen him. He's on, is it Sky Sports, and he does almost all of their interviews during their coverage that you often see on Golf Channel, the DP World Tour. He's a fantastic interviewer. He's a sneaky, funny guy when I've been around him, because we met through doing Solheim's and
Ryder Cups, probably.
Ryder Cups, yeah. And it was always a competition as to who got the interviews on that 18th green, and nobody beat Tim Barter. Nobody beat Tim to get that interview. He was awesome. He'd fly by me. He'd always get the fastest cart, because you have to, when you're doing a Solheim or something, you have to jump and do a bunch of interviews. He'd always have the fastest cart, and he'd be gone. He'd be up there before.
Even if you've been in a car with him, he likes to get wherever he needs to get. He likes to get there quickly. So. But no,
I enjoyed my time around him.
We've had a great relationship for the last 23 years. Of course, you have your ups and downs, you have your lovers' tiffs, so to speak, about things. But we generally see the golf swing very, very similar, and that's a good thing. You know, I've said many times, and Tim knows this. You know, Tim isn't the best coach in the world, but he's the best coach in the world for me. And that's why I've always said, as long as I'm playing golf, he'll be stood behind me watching me hit it. So there's no one else can do it.
That's very that needs to go on a t-shirt. That right there, and then you need to print that and give that to Tim for his birthday.
We'll give one to Jerry as well, and it can go with the hat.
Yeah, there we go.
By the way, no provisional balls. Fuck, I hit like 3 provisional balls on the first tee. No,
I'm playing tomorrow morning with Laura Cantor and a couple of good friends, so I can see it coming straight off the first tee.
You know what my friends used to do back when I was living in Orlando. Speaking of first tees, the Ritz, right? Foltz, the Ritz.
Oh yeah, love it. My favorite course in Central Florida. Yeah.
It literally is the widest fucking fairway on the first, right? And I teed.
It's pretty wide, yeah. Yeah, it's very wide.
Is it as wide as St. Andrews? Is it as wide as
No. But it's also very soft. I mean, the ball's not going to run 100 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but to be fair, this is also during winter. Anyway, my point is, I'll stand on that first tee and I'll play with David Byrne, a buddy of mine, who won the big break. And I would tee it up, and he would have, I kid you not, he would have a sleeve of golf balls in his pocket. And just as I'm about to hit the golf ball, he just points right like this. And as soon as my ball leaves the club face, he would throw a ball right next to my foot, and it's just straight right out of bounds.
I was playing the PGA Tour qualifying school back when they had an actual qualifying school to get to the PGA Tour. It was down at Greenleaf, south of Orlando. And I had to start on the 10th hole. It was like the 5th or 6th day, and I was way the hell out of it. And the 10th hole on this shitty-ass course was about as wide as a cart path. And I was playing with David Jackson, was a guy, you won't know him, and I can't remember who the other was. And you get shuttled out there, and we get on the tee. I'm first up to hit. I go, guys, I'm playing a Titleist 3. And then I dropped a Titleist 2, and I said my provisional will be a 2, because I knew I was going to be hitting it. And damn sure I did. Hit a 1-iron out of bounds.
I guess there's a reason why we're in these
commentators. Yes.
Commentating. Oh my gosh. Blandy, I do want to ask you about your entry into the Senior Open back in 2023. Yes. Yeah, you had fulfilled your the one exemption category as a former European Tour winner, being at the exact age of 50 at the time of the championship, but they denied your entry due to your outstanding fines. Just talk us through that and kind of some of your emotions.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't. In all fairness, I didn't realize that DP World had 50% of the Senior Open.
Who did? Nobody knew that.
No. So, I played in the Open at Hoylake the week before. but obviously we knew that me and Lee were kicked out of the Open, the Senior Open, a few weeks before then. So it wasn't it's not an R&A decision; it was a DP World decision. And yeah, it was just basically because of the fines that were outstanding, that myself and Lee, or we hadn't asked LIV to pay. That was that. So whether that changes in the future, I'm not too sure. But I don't know if you guys know, I'm pretty excited. I'm playing the US PGA Seniors next week.
We're excited.
Yes.
So
Congratulations, by the way.
So you're actually, you don't feel bad, but you're stopping my preparation. I've had to come home to do this, so I was practicing this morning. So yeah, I've got to. So if I play bad, don't worry, don't feel bad. It's okay.
Oh no, I'm not picking you to win. You got no chance of playing bad now.
No, so no, but no, so yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. You kind of, it'll be interesting to see where my game's at in regards to some of these guys. But I'd like to think that if I play well, then yeah, I should be there or thereabouts come Sunday.
Where's the U.S. Senior Open, by the way?
It's Western Michigan,
it's called
Benton
Harbor
Harbor.
Shores. Harbor Shores, I think.
Okay.
So I was actually going through they sent me some stuff last week, looking through it, and the course is only about 6,800 yards, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
Perfect.
Nice.
So yeah,
it's a Nicklaus design basically on Lake Michigan, not essentially.
Right. I think I've heard the greens are a bit slopey. It
was designed during Jack's volcano era, if you will,
right.
when there's a ton of the greens with a ton of individual slopes. Like from what I've heard, I listened to a guy on the radio yesterday who's playing it as well, Tracy Phillips, who's a former peer of mine in college golf, and he was trying to describe the greens because Nicklaus went through his era when he built all tabletop greens that were mostly flat with one big tier in them. Then he went through the multi-sloping greens, and he went through the era where they were just all these little dots around the greens, like got hit by hail. I think that was that. But it won't be a problem for you. The one thing that I think goes in your favor, you said try to see how you stack up against those guys. Those guys aren't playing 14 times a year against Rahm and against DJ at all on down the line, Bryson. You are, and you're holding your own. Not only holding your own, you're succeeding. And I'm excited for you to go up there, and I just hope you bring out your best. Yeah,
I hope so. It's going to be a new challenge, but the way I kind of look at it now, I don't think there's anything in golf now that I haven't faced. So apart from a putt to win 4 million, which would be quite nice, but so it's just going there, trusting yourself, and I think it's going to be. I've just got to kind of just go there and not get too kind of getting too ahead of yourself, this kind of thing. If you are playing well, and if you're kind of, and you feel like, oh right, I'm not there's some really good players out there, but I'm not someone that gets too complacent about things. So it's going to be it's going to be the mental challenge as well, because I've never played a senior event, or certainly a major. So what's this? Obviously, I've played majors at not senior level. So what's the course setup going to be like? How tough are they going to make it? I guess I'm going to find out on Monday when I play. So
it will be fair. The one thing PGA does better than all other majors is Kerry Haig's in charge of the course setup. It is always fair. There's, never anything.
I think to be fair, I think most majors are now. The US Open has certainly got a lot fairer. Certainly the ones that I've played. I played at Sutton Hills a couple of years ago. That was the course setup there was very fair. If you play well, then you've got every chance of being there down the stretch on Sunday. So, but yeah, it's a new kind of chapter opening. I don't know how long that book's going to be open for. We'll see. Again, I'm not too sure what the situation is going to be with Senior Open, whether they're going to then they're going to just kick us out again if we do decide to enter. I assume so. I don't see anything that's changed in the last year, so I don't really see anything changing in that. But yeah, I guess I'll ask the question and find out. But it would be nice to play. I know Lee was going to play next week, but I think he's withdrawn.
Well, we hope not. We hope you guys will get to play the U.S. Open, not U.S., but the Senior Open.
Yeah.
At some point in the future, because I think you more than deserving to be there. Now, you talked about not getting too far ahead of yourself, right, in your last statement. And every player, every athlete, doesn't matter what sport you play, they have their own ways of not getting too far ahead of yourself. What's yours?
I think we're all, there's always that. It's easy. That's the thing with golf is to let your mind wander. But I'm just very much like if I feel that I'm doing that, suddenly you kind of I've done it before where you're 15 holes to play and you're one shot in the lead. You start sort of, what am I going to say at the winner's speech, that kind of thing, and then next thing you're 4 holes later you're 3 behind. So it's just, it's not something that I really try not to do, but it's just, you just try and take your mind off it. Whatever you want to think about, that just, right, okay, you're not getting right. Oh, this, if there's a shot out there that, what, you don't necessarily like, there's 3 or 4 holes ahead of you. You don't start to sort of focus on that or anything. It's just, talking to your caddy or talking to the guys that you're playing with. That's the good thing on LIV. You don't mind playing with every guy, and there's not one person that when I see the draw sheet on LIV, I go, oh God, I've got a day today. They're all great guys. There's always maybe someone DP World, the odd guy that rubs you up the wrong way or you don't get on with. So, but I can honestly say with LIV, that's not the case. They might say that about me, that they hate playing with me. I don't know. But,
I doubt it. I doubt it, Blandy.
But yeah, it's just, maybe just, talking to the guys that you're playing with, talking to your caddy, football, whatever, talking shit, whatever you want to do, just to, like you say, get your focus off if you feel that that's where you're going. Which is sometimes it's quite easy to do when, like you say, you are in contention. When you're in 45th place, doesn't really matter. But so that's kind of how I go about it. But yeah, it's just talk to the guy play with, really.
You mentioned earlier that when you won and the messages you got at 4 years old and the people who you inspired. I mean, they were messages of inspiration, that you made a difference in their life because you gave them the belief to carry on, to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep trying. Does knowing that you still have a huge following in the game because of what you've done at this late age, and especially what you're now doing within LIV against younger guys with huge resumes, does that give you more tolerance to pay the price for success, to put in that hard work, knowing that there are people out there who you'll never meet, who you are helping them cope with their situation in life?
Yeah, definitely. It's great when you hear, people shout out to you that you're kind of doing it for the old guys, and that's great. I love that, and like you said, obviously the kind of the success came, to my career a little bit later than it's done for probably some guys, but yeah, for me it's just, it's not necessarily that I certainly don't work anywhere near as hard as I used to as regards to the amount of time that I put in now. My body can't do that anymore. I know that. When I was 20 years old, I could hit balls for 7-8 hours and not even taking a break. If I did that now, I'd be down the A&E for the night. I'd be someone would have to put me back together, just because of the wear and tear that puts on your body. So for me, it's just, I practice for as long as I want to practice now. you know, some days that might just be an hour. Some days it might be 4 or 5, depends. You know, if I feel that my game needs the time to be put in, then I'll put it in. If I feel like I'm doing pretty well, I'm playing all right, everything is where I need it to be, then for me it's just about maintaining that. And I don't feel like I have to put I don't have to stand on the range for hours on end to keep that. But yeah, anybody that you can inspire or help, whatever journey that they're on, for me is wonderful, and I'm really grateful that I'm in the position that I can do that. Like I said earlier, it's not something that you consciously think about, and someone might just message you to tell you their story, and yeah, it's like I said, it's some of those stories were very overwhelming, that what they were going through, and that they decided to carry on. And I hope that wherever journey they were on, that they've got there. I really do. I'm sure maybe some have, maybe some haven't. But I guess if it just helps one person, then what you're doing is worthwhile.
Well, speaking of overwhelming journeys, I think of all of us here, you're probably going through a pretty overwhelming journey, I would say. Your brother Heath,
Yeah,
who's sick, and you know, you've had a tough couple of years or whatever it's been. I think since 2017, right?
yeah,
It's been
yeah. He's
so
had a tough run. Yeah, he got pretty sick about 7 years ago. He was in a coma for about 5 weeks. So we didn't know whether he was going to come through that. Yeah, it took a lot out of him. And you know, it's no coincidence that I lost my card that year. You know, we didn't actually know until probably August that he was going to be okay. He had blood clots going through his body, and if one of those kind of got to his heart, that was it. It's game over. So yeah, for probably 6 months of that year, I wasn't at the races. But it's not an excuse. I don't use it as, you know, I don't. You know, the only person I blame is myself. But mentally, you know, even though you are at tournaments, but you know, there's bigger things going on. You can't give the best players in Europe that kind of head start. And actually, after we found out that he was going to be okay, I actually started playing a little bit better. But yeah, and I got my card straight back at Challenge Tour the next year. And then yeah, obviously we knew. When was it now? Probably about a year ago. That he'd been diagnosed with bowel cancer, which is always tough. Yeah, I didn't realize, because I live about an hour away from all my family. Yeah, he was living with my sister, which was a good thing. So he had family around him. It wasn't until I went to the Open and I rented a house there and he came up. I saw what he had to do every single day with the chemo, and that was, you know, just the medication he has to take every single day. You know, it's trying to kill the cancer, but you also just wonder, what on earth is it doing to him? And unfortunately, the chemo didn't cure it. It shrunk it. It didn't spread. So he had to have surgery about 2 months ago now, maybe just over 2 months. So I think he's had his prostate, his bladder, most of his bowel removed. So now he will live with 2 colostomy bags for the rest of his life. He'll never go to the toilet ever again for a number 1 or a number 2. He said the disappointing thing is he'll never fart again. So, but we've also he's had a scan last week. They've now found something on his lung, which we haven't had the results for yet. So we're hoping that's nothing. But it's grown from when he was first diagnosed. They saw something on his lung, and it was very small, which has now grown a little bit. So he had a scan last week. So we should be finding out sometime this week what that is. we're, you know, obviously praying that it's nothing. You know, it's going to be pretty tough, certainly for him, you know, what he goes through. You know, I have no idea. But also what it does to my parents is tough. So, you know, but he's unbelievably positive. You know, if I had half of what he's got in him, I'd win every week. It's simple as that. So yeah, you know, I'm playing just a small fun pro-am out in Arizona in November with a couple of good friends of mine, and they're good friends of his. So I've said to him, look, you know, if you're fitting well enough by then, just come out, ride on the buggy, just come have some fun. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that we'll be able to do that. So, but it was great that we could play. You know, we played Augusta last November. I have a friend who's a member, and basically from when Heath was ill 7 years ago, I reached out to my friend, and he said, "Look, bring him to when he's fit and ready. Let's take him to Augusta," which we managed to do in November. It was our fourth go trying. You know, I ruined two of them by getting into the World Match Play and COVID as well. We were literally 2 days from going, and COVID stopped us. So yeah, you know, to play Augusta National with my brother while he's going through everything was emotional. And yeah, it was just something you'll remember forever. So, but yeah, you know, we've got everything crossed that this is nothing. So hopefully we'll find out in a couple of days.
Well, our fingers and toes are all crossed, and you know, thank you for sharing that story, and our love and our well wishes and our speedy recovery goes out to Heath and your family. Yeah. You know, we pray for all the best, and we pray for the
thank you. No, it's great.
Good health
this
for you
is
guys.
what I'm so grateful for LIV giving me the opportunity to play. That you know, I can say to him, look, you haven't got to worry about anything. As regards what's going, all you have to focus on is you getting well. Everything else I can look after. Don't worry. You know, so he hasn't got to worry about any payments or mortgages or anything like that. Look, that's for as long as you need. You know, I know I think his mortgage might be up very soon, so I'll probably I'll probably buy his house, the rest of his house for him. Just so it's just something that he doesn't have to worry about. And you know, and if that helps his recovery and takes the stress out of a few things, then you know, it's something you do in a heartbeat. So, but yeah, you know, we've all we can do is hope, and you know, I'm sure he's going to be okay. And hopefully, hopefully, if he is okay, he'll be coming to a LIV event.
We'll look forward to that.
Yes, yeah, we look forward to meeting him.
Yeah. He came to the team championships last year. It was pretty last minute, but yeah, I'm sure he'll come to. He'll certainly come to JCB, maybe Valderrama, that kind of thing. It depends on whether he can fly. We're not too sure, but JCB, I'm sure he probably won't be walking around a huge amount. I played on Friday, and he walked 2 holes, and he's wiped out. So yeah, maybe we'll get him a spot in the commentary box or something like that.
Perfect.
He can just sit there.
Perfect.
He's more than welcome to sit on my golf cart. That's for sure. So,
but yeah, he'll. I would be amazed if he's not at JCB. So
he will be looked after.
Yeah, we'll get him. I'll get him out on the range, and I'll introduce you guys, because obviously, you know, he watches every single shot. You know, he was up at like 2 o'clock.
He tweeted, didn't he? Foltz?
Yeah, but he was up in Singapore at 2 o'clock in the morning. He watches, doesn't matter what time of day it is, he watches live. So yeah, you know, it is great that, you know, hopefully if I can play well, you know, it makes him feel better. So it's just an added thing to, you know, try and keep playing.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, you know, with all this that you're going through outside the golf course, you know, and everything that your brother is going through, does this give you sort of a different perspective? Obviously, it is very difficult, you know, handling both at the same time and trying to have a career as well. But does that give you a different perspective into the game of golf now?
Definitely, certainly for how long I've got left playing. Certainly for how long. Yeah, I've said to, you know, my wife keeps saying to me, "Oh, you'll never retire, you'll never retire." But when I'm finished with LIV, that will be me. I'll be finished. So I certainly don't plan to play any seniors full time or anything like that. Yes, I might play the odd tournament here or there in Europe. But once my LIV career is finished, my golf career will be over. And I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. You know, with what's gone on with Heath, it's made me realise that you've got to, you know, you've worked so hard for everything, and you've got yourself into a position that you can enjoy the rest of your life. And I want to enjoy it. Yeah, and that's where it's at. So hopefully, you know, I can keep maybe going for certainly another year. That would be unbelievable. We'll see. We'll see. But
we want five more out of you. We want five out of you, and then you're gonna take my spot in the booth. Now, right. if you're looking for something to do when you do retire, I've got an idea. You've graduated. You've got 4 diplomas from the Challenge Tour. You've graduated 4 times. I mean, literally that sounds almost comical, but it's an awesome achievement in doing it. There is a Richard Bland College, a junior college associated with the College of William and Mary up in Virginia. You can go to school for 2 years and graduate a 5th time, and you would be I guess they're Blandemaniacs or something. I don't know what their mascot is.
Did you not listen to what I said earlier when my school report says I'm a pretty slow learner? So whatever it would take 2 years.
But you've got all that life experience now.
Whatever is 2 years takes me 5. So but no.
It's okay. It takes Jerry 10, so it's okay.
Someone did say that to me. They kind of, I think they Googled me or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a college, a Richard Bland College. So yeah, maybe they'll give you one diplomas, a doctor diploma or something like that.
Yes, well, it'd be an associate's, an honourary associate's degree. Yes.
They should call me, but yeah, I heard there was a college, so yeah, that's pretty cool. But
hey, Blandy, so you know you've been through, as Jerry pointed out, you've been through kind of so many different difficulties in your life, and had to go back to Q school, lose your car, go back to Q school again. You've been through a lot, right? But you've also achieved a lot. What advice would you give to both young and up and coming golfers, but also people that are perhaps finding that love and passion for the game later on in life?
I think if to the younger generation that are maybe looking for a future in the game, that I always have been. I know distance is a huge factor now in the game, and it is. And most young kids come out now because and they do hit it a long way. But I'm a firm believer that this game is always, if you can turn 3 shots into 2. As a professional golfer, you're an ATM machine, absolute ATM machine. You really are. And so if you can control your distances from probably, you know, from certainly 150, 160 yards in, if you can do that, and that's how you turn. For me, that's how you get your stroke average down, which is so important. It's not going to be standing on the range hitting 5 irons. Yeah, DJ didn't become the best player in the world from number 10 because he hits 5 iron and closer. He became a world-class wedge player. Same with Luke Donald. and that's it for me with golf. It's okay. Every aspect is important, but like I said to some kids at the Floridian a few weeks ago when I was down there with Claude, he allowed me to go practice for a couple of weeks. I said, if you, from the middle of the fairway, from 160 yards in, from the middle of the fairway, how many bogeys you make, you jump off a bridge at the end of the year. I can't make that many mistakes. You can't. And if you can cut that down, that's where you'll gain shots. Not by standing there hitting a 3-iron on the green from 230 yards away. That's not going to happen. So that's where I would get kids to work an awful lot more, is working on their yardages, knowing that, right, that shot hits it that far every single time. Yeah, I can tell you a funny story. I know it's going back to the long game, but I was watching him talking to DJ in Adelaide. He's hit his 9-wood. And I was just watching him hit a few shots. I was stood hitting some balls next to him. And I said to him, how far does it go? And he said it goes around sort of 240, 241. And he hits one. And he said, yeah, that's it. That's perfect. He said, that's 241. And it came up on his TrackMan at 240.7. And I was just like, seriously? I do it with my wedges. I try and call a number. If I hit a shot from, if I'm trying to hit a 100-yard shot, I'll hit a shot and I'll call it. And then look at my launch monitor to see if my feel is related to what the number's giving me. And this guy can do it with a 9-wood. That was like, geez, like, oh, man, like that's impressive. But so yeah, for the younger kids, really, as much as distance is important, really dial those short irons in, because that's where the game is going to be won and lost. And for the older generation, it's just basically it's just enjoy it. Just try and enjoy it, and and figure out what you want from the game. And don't get, if you can hit the ball pretty good, and you haven't, again, for them, it's a lot the same. It's don't get too bogged down in having lessons and trying to be, swinging so much better, like you might see someone on the TV, because it's the amount of time you want to put into the game. I could see Tim on Thursday, and if something was seriously wrong, and we worked on it, it'd probably take me a month before it actually felt normal. And that's me working at it all the time. And those guys are certainly not going to have that time to put into it. So it's just really enjoy it. Don't get too bogged down in having lessons, doing this, doing that. And just play. Just play the game. Because I think, we're all guilty of getting in our own way. But once you do, just play it. And you play it for fun, and you're not worried about anything. It's a great game to play, and we're all lucky to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's the only way my golf is played now, is for fun, and it's always with people with whom I want to play, which is the most important thing. I don't go play for the love of the game, but there's always a golf cart and a cooler and sometimes a speaker involved. And it's my definition of fun. That's my definition of fun golf.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That golf's coming to me very soon. Very, very soon.
Don't underestimate it. Hey, I know we've used up a lot of your time, and before Sue-Ann does anything, I just want to say good luck next week, and thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing the time with us, but thanks for sharing your story.
No worries,
well.
pleasure. Anytime. But no, I look forward to seeing you guys in Houston. Like you say, it's been a dream come true to play on LIV, and like I say, hopefully it's not quite done yet, but
I don't think you're done yet, Blandy.
No.
I don't think you're close to being done.
You are a folk hero.
You
represent keeping the dream alive for so many people, because you've done it for yourself. You're a folk hero, and I love the fact that you're getting the notoriety you deserve for the accomplishments you've made at this stage in your life. And I am #1 cheerleader on the bandwagon. I am the Blandemaniac.
I appreciate that. Just don't pick me again. Just don't pick me.
No. Michael Walton said I can't pick you again, even though
I must be honest. In Adelaide, like I knew you picked me, and like I think I got off to a bit of a shaky start, and I can't remember where it was, and I was just kind of like, Jesus, my name is mud in that
yeah, you were 2 over, and then
commentary box right now. I'm getting crucified in there. I'm getting crucified.
Yeah, but you played your last 6 4 under, and that was that, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew I have faith. I have faith.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, the Cleeks, the Cleeks are trending as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the second cheerleader of our broadcast team for you, Blandy.
Okay.
Right behind Foltzy. But you know, Blandy, you're a true inspiration, buddy. And honestly, I mean, I'm not saying that to kiss your ass. I'm saying that because you truly are an inspiration.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it.
To so many, including myself and Jerry. And we love watching you play. We love the way you play and your attitude towards the game of golf and with life in general. We love you, and all the best next week. Play well, kick some butt.
Yes,
kick some ass.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Kick some ass, man.
Yeah.
All right, man.
And yeah, we'll see you in Houston.
Definitely. Look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Cheers,
All
man.
right. Thanks, Blandy. Take care, bud.
Bye. Bye.
Man, I love Blandy.
How can you not love Blandy? You know what? One of the
know.
greatest, the jobs that we took and we still have, and we're fortunate to have
For
come
now.
with a lot of blessings for us professionally and personally. One of the hugest blessings to me is getting to know somebody like Richard Bland, him specifically, actually, because I would have probably never crossed paths with him otherwise. Maybe in passing at a tournament covering regular, you know, a major or something that he had qualified for, but I wouldn't have crossed paths with him. And getting to know him is awesome. He's such a good human being. You can tell the passion with which he lives his life and his commitment to his family. He's just a stand-up guy, period. I can't possibly imagine somebody hating Richard Bland or having an enemy in that guy. He's such a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people make fun of him about his age and being on LIV and the cliques and all that, but like, if you really just strip those things apart, right, and just actually look at his career, if he was a player on the PGA Tour, he would be getting so much praise, right? People are gonna love him. It's gonna be like a Michael Block situation, right, where it's like this guy who struggled so much of his life and found form later on in his career, and it's like now he's so inspiring, but now because he's on LIV, no one's really giving him the credit. You know, he's in that shadow of bad journalism that we have in our industry. If you, like I said, if you strip those things apart, he is a solid player. And mind you, he mentioned himself, he's competing with some of the best players in the world on our league for 14 events a year.
Yeah, and his accomplishments aren't lost, even through the biased, you know, whatever you call there are no real journalists, very few left, but his accomplishments are not lost. They're kind of discounted because it's a limited field, but that limited field has better players than week in and week out than you find anywhere else.
And by the way,
of a field standpoint,
big golf courses too, Jared.
Big boy courses. I know.
Yeah.
I know big boy courses. And you know, he's going to the Senior PGA next week in Michigan. He's got a chance to win. I mean, like a legitimate chance to win that event. If he wins it, what's it get him? Not a thing. And whoever else wins it, if it's not him, they're not going to get an offer to come join LIV. He's part of the premier league in the entire game. I know you believe it. I believe it. Every player believes it, and all of our fans believe it as well. And it's only going to continue to grow. The only thing it will get him is a spot into next year's PGA Championship, which would be awesome. Because he'd go there along with his peers. And obviously the PGA was the first to the table in terms of doing the right thing from adding to the field standpoint. We talked about it last week. That would be awesome to see him play in that.
That would be pretty cool. All right. Well, between last episode and this episode, we've had some great tweets. Not we, but a lot of great tweets on the X, or I should say posts on the X. And I would have to, I think the winning post this week will have to go to Anthony Kim. I think That is.
Oh, when he
Yeah.
called Brandel out.
Yeah, when he called Brando out on the X.
Yeah.
I
That got a lot of traction. I mean, Anthony Kim, 12 years away from the game, he's brought, I mean, and completely off social media. He learned social media quickly. I mean, he's on board. He does not mind mixing it up on there.
No.
And I know Live devout fans, they're not fans of Brandel Chambly. A lot of people within our organization are not fans of Brandel Chambly. And I get a lot of grief for this. I am a fan of Brandel Chambly, and you know that. He's a friend. I disagree with so much of what he says, and he disagrees with so much of what I do. But we're still friends, and I respect how good he is at his job. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but he's one of the best I've ever seen at the job that he has as a studio analyst. So I'm never going to attack Brandel for something he says, because he's entitled to that right, and that's his job to have that opinion. I don't agree with it. I don't like it a lot of times. And I think a lot of times it's not really the most informed, but don't ever accuse Brandel of not doing his homework. He's really good at what he does.
No, absolutely. I think what I like about AK is he calls it as he sees it. He says it as he sees it. There is no, if there is a guy that, for a lack of better term, the millennials call it zero fucks given.
ZFG.
Anthony, yeah, Anthony Kim would be one, right? He's got this, you know what? He's secure in his place in the game. He's secure with what happened with himself in the last 12 years. He's processed all of it. He's reviewed all of it. He's very introspective about all of it, and he's happy with where he is, and he doesn't give a shit about what you think about him. And I think that is just so refreshing, especially in our game, right? And him just calling somebody out, it doesn't matter who it would be, right? It could be anybody, but him just calling somebody out for being.
It could be you or I if we say something he doesn't agree with. He won't hesitate.
Exactly.
He's got a second chance at life that most people are never given. His talent got him that, and he's going to make the best of it, and he's going to live it true to himself for the first time. He's always lived for other people, which is usually the wrong reasons to your motivation. He's living it for himself, his daughter, and his wife, and zero fucks given, and hats off to him for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everybody wants to live that way, but we can't. We have jobs, we have bosses, we have families, we have, you just can't. We all want to live that way. I would love to get on a broadcast and say what I really think about everything, even this broadcast, but I can't. There's too many wheels in the machine.
Because we're lost. We're lack of fucking talent. That's what's up.
Yes. Nice shirt, by the way.
I know. By the way, in case you're wondering what show you're on, I thought I'd wear a t-shirt to remind you constantly throughout this entire hour that you're listening to Fairway to Heaven or watching Fairway to Heaven.
You're watching. Yes. Custom made by my sister.
Thank you to your sister, by the way, whom I'm a huge fan of. And I guess she's going to drive me in Houston.
I think so.
I'll see her in Houston. I'm excited. Do you have any idea how much content I would have in Nashville?
Everything she says is a lie. Everything she says about me as a kid was a lie. She used to just treat me so badly and beat up on me and yell at me, everything's a lie.
I mean, have you looked at yourself in the mirror lately?
I'm kidding.
Oh,
she's a twin, and they're the best sisters anybody could have.
I met them in Vegas, and I love them.
Yes.
They're awesome, and they had our fairways. They're like huge fans of the show, and they were supporting us by wearing a hoodie with Fairway to Heaven that was custom made. By the way, if you think we should print some shirts, please do let us know. Maybe we can make it happen somehow, Jerry.
Yes, let's do that.
Would you wear this?
It's
let me know.
Hard.
Would you wear this shirt? Let us know. Let us know. Speaking of which, you can reach.
I wear them every day.
You can reach us on our socials platform. FTH_LIV Golf. We're on Instagram, TikTok, the X. You can certainly reach us there, DM us, leave us a comment. We also have our very own LIV Golf. We have our very own Fairway to Heaven YouTube page. The struggle's real today. So you can watch all the episodes on there. Do subscribe, and you can find us wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, just however you find us, do find us and give us a thumbs up, please.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
You give me a thumbs up. That's very nice.
My sisters love the show, and they would watch it if I wasn't on it because they love you, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. You got
I
'em
don't
so
get it
fooled.
either. To be fair, I don't get it
You get them
either.
so fooled. Yeah.
They must
yeah.
be drinking. They must be drinking.
All right, Biatch, I'm done with you.
All right, go back to sleep, you old man.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.